seasoned hip-hop performer, who is renowned for his songs and feisty personality, was scheduled to take off from New York's crowded JFK Airport. Jim, dressed in his signature streetwear chains and shades, had the confidence of someone who's seen it all. But no one could have predicted that this ordinary day of travel would turn into a national media sensation, not even Jim himself. It started at the security checkpoint. Witnesses said that Jim appeared upset even before the action began. Perhaps the lengthy lines, the fans' constant demands for pictures, or the busy morning schedule were to blame. Anyway, he was clearly annoyed as he made his way through TSA. According to witnesses, the incident heated up after Jim allegedly moved ahead of a man who was fumbling with his belongings at the conveyor belt. They exchanged words. At first, the eye rolls, rising voices, and whispering of complaints seemed to be the usual travel stress. However, violence swiftly broke out from the verbal dispute. The others gasped as the two men surged at each other. Shouting filled the terminal. Bags dropped off the belt. Security personnel rushed to separate the two, but phones were already recording. "You know, that's Jim Jones," one bystander shouted as they pulled out their phones to film the fight. The footage went viral on social media in a matter of minutes. In the video, Jim could be seen punching back as the police pulled him away, clearly trying to protect himself. Airport police descended onto the situation. Jim was chained, his arms behind his back, and officers hurried him to a holding room. The person who got into the incident was also escorted away, despite the fact that he was far less recognizable than the celebrity who was now being followed by dozens of cameras. One cop was heard saying, "Calm down, sir," in the video. "We just need to talk about what happened." But Jim shouted back, obviously angry, "I didn't initiate this. He assaulted me first, you all saw it." The terminal was bustling with activity, travelers whispering to one another and calling friends and family about what they had just witnessed. The footage had already been acquired by TMZ and other media, and the nasty headlines read, "Airport Brawl. Jim Jones detained after fight at JFK." Some criticized Jim, claiming that a public figure should know better, while others felt sorry for him, presuming he had been provoked. Jim, who had removed his sunglasses and was sitting with his wrists on the table with his chains clinking, was placed by officers in the airport holding room. Two detectives entered, ready to begin questioning him. "Mister, this terminal has security cameras so we can see what happened." "Jones, we know you're upset, but we need your side of the story," one investigator stated. "Take care of yourself and work together." Jim took a deep breath. He was used to controversy, but this time it felt more real. The bright lights outside the holding room door reminded him that the world was already watching. Meanwhile, news outlets covered the topic nonstop. The question of whether Jim had truly gone too far or if his celebrity status had unfairly singled him out was debated by commentators. On Twitter, hashtags like the Free Jim Jones and the Jim Jones Airport fight began to gain popularity. Back in the holding area, Jim's phone was constantly buzzing from the evidence bag. His team, friends, and family were trying to contact him. Love and Hip Hop's cast members were already aware of it. Some silently expressed their worries, while others saw it as simply another sharp bend in Jim's unpredictable trajectory. The questioning heated up. An officer asked, "Did you have any alcohol this morning?" Jim shot back, "No. I just wanted to go on my flight." The man kept bumping into me and started talking incoherently, so I told him to stop. "He's swinging before you realize it. I won't let anybody touch me. You would do the same." They had witness testimony in addition to his version of events, and the widely circulated recordings painted a chaotic picture that was not beneficial to either side, so the police officers exchanged glances. As the first hour of questioning came to a conclusion, Jim slumped back in his chair in irritation and said, "This is ridiculous. It's not against the law for me to defend myself. You can't just put me in jail for this." But the authorities reminded him that this is about more than just him. Fighting is not treated lightly here. It's an airport on federal property. Jim felt as though his work, independence, and reputation were all on the line. And that awareness came as a shock because of the circumstances that had converted what could have been dismissed as a minor scuffle elsewhere into a federal case. By evening, the story was spreading like wildfire. Admirers waiting outside the airport yelled his name, and bloggers scrutinized every detail of the footage. The argument was over. The confrontation in the airport was ended, and Jim knew deep down that this was only the beginning. But the real battle, against the press, the system, and the damage to his career, was just beginning. Jim Jones was taken aback by the coldness of the JFK holding room, and he kept reenacting the violent confrontation in his mind, keeping his back straight and his arms clasped. There was a half-finished police report on the table in front of him. Officers came and went in the room whispering information to each other, and every time the door creaked open, Jim's anxiousness grew. He wasn't afraid of confrontations since he had been through too many, but this time it looked different. His reputation was already at risk beyond those gates. Social media has turned the airport into a virtual tribunal. Fans were split on the popular hashtags #Jim Jones Brawl and JART Airport Chaos, which showed him swinging in one film and screaming in another, portraying him as the aggressor without any context. We spoke with a number of witnesses, and the investigator returned with a folder that he handed over the table. Some criticized him for losing control in public, while others defended him, saying it was self-defense. Some say you got out of hand, while others say you were provoked. Surveillance footage proves there was a physical altercation. "Mr. This is a serious matter." Jim leaned forward. "It wasn't me who started it. You have cameras everywhere, and you know that guy was in my face first." His voice was a mixture of frustration and determination. The officer's calm reply, "Intent doesn't matter here, however," diffused the situation. "The place matters. You're not in a club or on the street. This airport is owned by the government." That is the key distinction. The implications of their words became clear. It wasn't just a headline. An altercation at the airport may result in federal prosecution. Beyond the airport, pandemonium simmered outside the holding area, with reporters and photographers encamped outside the terminal to await word, and supporters arguing loudly in the parking lot, some shouting, "Free Jim Jones!" while others criticized his behavior. In the realm of hip-hop and love, phones were always ringing. Executive producer Mona Scott was in her office when the first video showed up on her timeline. She froze, playing the video over and over. "Mona, have you seen this?" Her helper rushed in and asked. "Yes," answered Mona firmly. "And there will soon be anarchy. Call VH1. We need to determine how to control the damage." She knew that the drama was the driving force behind the play, but this was real life, and there were consequences. Not only a rumor, a cast member in federal custody was a liability. Rashida was among the first cast members to text Jim, despite the fact that his phone was locked in the evidence bag. Yandy Smith gave Mona a call directly. "Tell me this isn't true," she pleaded. "Jim has been trying to focus, so this isn't required for him right now." Mona sighed. "It's true, Yandy. We'll just have to wait and find out, but the footage is all over the place." Back in jail, Jim lost his temper and yelled at the investigator, "You keep talking like I'm some sort of criminal. Do you seriously think I'm going to let a guy snub me in front of everyone? I was defending my own interests." "No, anyone who had been in my position would have done the same." The investigator wrote notes. "You are heard. However, purpose does not nullify impact. You have been detained but not yet arrested. The district attorney will decide on charges." Jim kept hearing the word "yet" in his mind. His family was waiting for him, cameras were set up to record every angle, and his career was still in progress. The idea of spending a night or longer in a jail cell sounded unthinkable. He summoned his lawyer. An hour later, a lawyer with a suitcase appeared in a smart suit. The lawyer assured him, "We'll take care of this social media storm. By now, the tale has taken over the internet, so keep quiet till I've looked over the proof." Blogs, podcasts, and gossip channels examined each audio. One analysis, Jim Jones cuffed at JFK. What really happened? Starglow channel uploaded it. In a few hours, it received thousands of views, and supporters flooded the comments area with comments such, "Jim was just defending himself. The other man assaulted him first. Whether you're famous or not, you don't fight in an airport. He has to face the consequences. This is real-life hip-hop and love." Drama ensues wherever they go. With every response, the issue seemed to become worse. It was no longer just a struggle. It was now about image, influence, and the court of public opinion. Family reaction: Chrissy Lampkin was at home while browsing through her phone's updates. Her pulse raced as she saw her partner's face splattered throughout news feeds. "This man," she continued pacing. "This man," she continued pacing. Despite her desire to keep him safe, she understood how deadly situations like this could spiral out of hand. To check on her, her pals gave her a call. "How are you?" They asked, "Have you talked to Jim?" "No, but I'm going to find out what's really going on," Chrissy said. "After everything we've done, he doesn't deserve to be represented as a criminal." Her voice faltered with anger and worry. She knew the system could amplify even the smallest incident. Mona had to make a decision when she got back to work, and the network needed to know whether this may jeopardize filming. One executive said, "We might turn it into a plot," but Mona shook her head, saying, "This goes beyond television drama. This is legal. Rather of exploiting federal cases, we wait. If Jim quits anytime soon, we could talk about it on the show. But just now, we need to protect the brand." However, Mona could not ignore the fact that viewing was driven by controversy. And nothing captured the attention of viewers more than a real-life scandal. The night ends. As night passed, Jim remained in custody, awaiting the decision of the DA. He may still face prosecution, even though his lawyer told him that the reporters